So, if you're looking at it in a nutshell, you've bought this book and you read the first three chapters, which are the first 3 degrees in the Symbolic Lodge. Well, you're kind of left without an answer at the end of the third chapter, because the third chapter, you lost something.
Hello, my name is Dirk Hughes, Director of the Michigan Masonic Museum and Library. In today's episode of Masonic Education, we'll be focusing on Royal Arch Masonry, also known as Capitular Masonry, the first of 3 separate organizations within the appendant body we call the York Rite. Royal Arch Masons refer to each other as companions and meet in chapters that confer 4 degrees: the Mark Master, the Past Master, the Most Excellent Master, and the Royal Arch. Even though in some jurisdictions around the globe, the Royal Arch degree is actually part of the Symbolic Lodge, here in the United States it is still thought of as originating from those initial lodge degrees and an important step in fully understanding our Masonic philosophy.
Gives you a whole spectrum of the different parts of Masonry.
Chapter in particular, it helps to really complete the degrees. You actually literally receive the wages of a fellow craft. You get the master's word. You really come back and you actually physically go back and help rebuild the temples. So it really helps complete the Masonic experience, especially within a spiritual aspect too.
Chapters represent a certain progression of history that is followed into council.
It fills in those spaces of the learning during the first 3 degrees that we asked, well, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Who were these people?
Masons, in general, usually join Royal Arch because they're looking for a continuation of the story. The story of the Blue Lodge, or the Symbolic Lodge, is that of King Solomon and the loss to the secret word of Masonry. In the chapter, you get a continuation of the story in which you find out what the lost word was by certain stories and allegories until you go through the 4 chapters, basically, of the York Rite. Not York Rite, but chapter.
It should come as no surprise that the Royal Arch degrees are closely associated with the building of King Solomon's Temple, and use that auspicious endeavor as an allegory to introduce its members to additional Masonic symbols and lessons that can be used to improve ourselves when we apply them to our daily lives. Lessons that include the importance of being attentive in our efforts, never claiming credit for another's work, and being willing to assist in a righteous cause regardless of compensation, just to name a few.
I joined York Rite, to be honest, because a Mason who I had great respect for, Charlie Sheffield, told me that my Masonic education would not be complete unless I joined York Rite.
Like all good organizations, we do not allow dictatorships. It's a democracy of sorts. In chapter, if it isn't in our Red Book, we revert back to Blue Lodge Blue Book as a guideline as to how to deal with it.
Be prepared, because it's a different experience from where you've been.
For most people, it's a fulfillment. You feel satisfied. For some people, it's an opening of another door and they go other places.
We hope you've enjoyed this quick look into Royal Arch Masonry and count it as a reminder that our lives are an active process of improvement if we utilize those things we learn from the continued search of more light and understanding. I'm Dirk Hughes with the Michigan Masonic Museum and Library. Until next time.
15 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
We're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death.
Bloody.
Every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here.
What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.
After all this time, why are you still looking into this?
Because one day they're gonna come back.
We still haven't even reached what is out there. We have a long road ahead of us.
We have a mission for you. There's a planet of which we have received strange signals.
Recruiters never come around back home.
You have no idea what is out there.
For all of you, it'll be wise to treat lightly.
What the hell is out there?
There's a species that has been around for millennium. And they're right here.
If any of us is going to come out of this alive, we're going to need a plan.
I have an idea.
Listen, y'all, listen. The Miami incident, right? We're at the mall. I was watching one of the victims, and he said that it seemed like a portal opened up, and all of a sudden these beings just came through. So it got me thinking, well, where did they come from? Well, they had to come through a portal. So, just for shiggles, I went to Google Earth, went to the mall, got the coordinates, flip-flopped the coordinates, put that in Google Earth, and just to see where it would take me, it took me to the center of Antarctica.
Oh my God.
Do y'all remember when I was talking about how there's an alien civilization in Antarctica living under that ice? Do y'all remember that? Because if not, let me remind you, there's supposedly a alien race living in Antarctica.
One of the top comments even reads, "The very center of Antarctica. I just did it. You are not tripping, sis."
entities. They're like vampires, you know?
Vampires don't exist, Jake.
That cold ain't the weather. That's death approaching.
They're tearing through everyone's home.
We can last the month.